this story. It went national, where you have video showing a woman being hit by a car outside Delaney Hall in Newark, an anti-ICE protester descending on this ICE facility, calling for dads to be released on Father's Day. There was a woman, her name is Alex James, waving an upside down American flag. And I want to play the video for you before I introduce her. She's at this entrance here, and you can see a car strike her. And again, this happened very recently on Father's Day. Take a look at this video, because it really is something. Watch this. All right, there you see it. There you see it. Some pretty scary stuff. That woman who was hit by that vehicle joins us right now. Her name is Alex James. Alex, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Hey. Hi, Alex. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I was hit by a car. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that. Yeah.
That's,
okay. I mean, considering the fate of things, our nation and whatnot.
Yeah. So kind of take me through this a little bit, Alex. Tell us why you were there, why you were protesting, and why you had the flag upside down.
This is a symbol of distress. And our nation is clearly in distress right now. We have people kidnapped and put into concentration camps, over 200 concentration camps all over the United States. This is just one of them. And there is another one literally 16 minutes away from here. I'm from Minnesota. I drove 19 hours to be here, and I have a trailer hauling medical supplies and PPE. That's personal protection equipment, for those of you who are not aware, which is all defensive equipment to replenish everything that had been decimated here, covered in pepper spray and bear mace, unusable. And this is all to protect ourselves while protesting peacefully here. And we have the Whipple in the Twin Cities, as well as a new detention center concentration camp opening 3 hours outside of the Twin Cities right this second. So this is happening everywhere, and the conditions inside are horrendous, and there is no such thing as due process. The 14th Amendment does not exist. The First Amendment does not exist. So we protest peacefully and are met with bear mace, tear gas, batons, rubber bullets. Our Constitution is not being upheld.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with what you just said. Take me through what happened. So tell me exactly where you're standing. It looks like it's the entrance there, right? And then you have this red sports car. You're holding this flag upside down, which, by the way, you have the right to do. I certainly support your right to do so. So tell me what happens next. This car comes out of nowhere and hits you. Tell me what happens.
So first thing, there is the gate where they will open that gate and cars will come through, in and out. And we have shift changes. That's when a lot of cars come in, a lot of cars come out. They will open the gate and have guards come out, and we never know whether they're going to come out peacefully after the gate fully opens and tell us to make way, part way, so that cars can come through, or they don't even bother to wait for the gate to fully open and pelt the ground in front of our feet with rubber bullets, tear gas, bear mace, etc. We never know what mood they're going to be in, and it changes within the same day sometimes. And on that particular day, this gate was open, cars had come through, and we had filtered back to the middle because the guards had come back inside behind the gate, so we didn't think that there were more cars coming. And I also filtered back to the middle here as well, and was waving a flag. Not this one, they've stolen 2 flags already. This is the 3rd one. And I filtered back here along with everyone else. And apparently a car had arrived late, and instead of honking a horn to let people get out of the way, it decided that nudging me out of the way with the red sports car was a better idea.
Was it? So it's fair to say, when I watched the video, it looked intentional. Do you feel that way as well, that this was intentional?
It absolutely was. I was not the only person in the middle.
Yeah.
I just happened to be at an angle that met with the car.
So how are you doing? Were you injuries at all? I mean, how are you doing physically? Did you have any injuries?
I had bumps and bruises. I angled my fall. When I realized I was falling, I angled my fall to try to brace myself as much as possible. And I was also completely high on adrenaline. So I jumped up, donned a mask, and stood in protest. And the car,
Yeah.
a lot of our community went up to the car trying to stop it and get answers.
Right.
And the gate remained open, let the car through, and closed behind it.
All right. So my understanding, and help me understand this because I don't know a ton about this story other than what I saw. Who was in the car? Have you guys found out? Like, was this a DHS worker? Was it an employee? Do you guys have any idea who it was?
There has been an arrest from what I understand. I refuse to look into it. I refuse to touch it at all because I've compartmentalized myself in order to focus on where I need to focus on. I have an incredible lawyer
Yeah, and
um,
we're gonna have
who
him
is
pop
handling
up here.
everything for me.
Yeah, and we're
I'm
gonna have him.
staying out of it. I don't want to derail myself in
Sure, sure, sure.
the trauma of it. So I'm
Yeah.
just completely disassociating.
So Alex, hang on with me for just a second because I want to introduce. You're right. You do have a great attorney. His name is
Yes,
James.
I do.
James is great, and he joins us right now. James, can you help her answer that? Do you guys have any idea who this person was? And thank you for joining us, by the way. Who was in that vehicle that struck her?
Hey, Brian. Hey, first of all, Brian, thanks for having me on. Yeah, so first of all, I want to be really clear that there was uh, an arrest. There was a person named.
James,
I don't
your
know
audio. James, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Your audio is a little hard to hear. It's a little muffled. I don't know if you can maybe get
oh, is
close.
it? Okay.
Yeah, there you go. You're better. You're better.
Okay. Yeah, somebody was named. I don't have the exact name with me right now. I don't know who it was, but I have advised Alex to make sure that she kind of sidesteps those questions because there will
Okay.
be pending litigation.
No
So,
problem.
but
Oh,
yeah,
don't worry. I'm not looking into it anyway.
yeah.
Right. Understood.
It's not where I need to be.
I don't understand, and I'll ask Alex. I'll go back to you and ask you this question. Like, you have your First Amendment right. We have
I
the
think
right.
so.
Yeah, we have the right in this country to peacefully protest, which obviously is what you were doing. And it seems like, whether we're talking about rubber bullets or the harassment that you guys receive, like, I really just don't understand why they don't just leave you guys alone and let you protest. Why do you think they get so angry when you guys are, whether it's in Minneapolis or whether it's in New Jersey? Why do you think these people get so upset at people like you? Alex,
I can't.
yeah,
I
go ahead.
can't understand the mentality. To be completely frank, I'm not sure I want to understand the mentality. There is a depth of cruelty and brutality in it that I cannot comprehend. I
Mhm.
will say that there was a point in time, not that long ago, was it a week or two ago, that
Probably.
not only were police involved, but there were police checkpoints that forced us to put away put our PPE, our protective gear, back in our cars. We were not allowed to wear protective gear, despite knowing that not only ICE agents were coming at us with batons and tear gas and whatnot, but police was as well. I was forced pushed to the ground by police.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
Well, Alex, are you afraid because I've talked a lot about Alex Preddy and Renee Good, which obviously you've thought about and talked about, and we can't forget their names. Are you afraid that if you put yourself in these situations, which by the way, I think you're heroic for doing that for protesting, but are you afraid that you could end up like them? Because when I see these images of what happened to Renee Good and Alex Preddy, I'd be afraid. Maybe you're more brave than I am, but do you think about that?
my answer will be a little bit of a sidestep because this this was my megaphone. Sorry, one second.
That's okay.
This
Yep.
was my megaphone.
Yeah.
And it got run over a day before I was run over.
Wow.
Because here, let me show you. So if
Wow.
you look over here,
Yep.
that is a concrete barrier, correct? You see that?
Yep. Yep.
That's a concrete barrier. Can
Yep.
you drive a van through that?
I mean, if it's a concrete barrier, it could be difficult, but
Okay.
I guess anything's possible.
Uh, we'll say that because apparently the driver thought that he could because he drove up onto that area
Yeah.
and rammed into the waiting pool that was there. And 20 minutes prior to that, there were two people laying very low in that waiting pool. You would not have seen them. That could
Yeah.
have been two homicides right there. And
Wow. Wow.
careened into the waiting pool that was there,
Yeah.
which also careened into my megaphone and dragged the waiting pool all the way through the gate. So they ended up with a new swimming pool. I hope they patched in actually celebrated using it. And then I was rammed into the day after that. And since then, we've had 2 incidents already. And these are only the ones that I've been present for, where we almost had more people run into. And
That's
these
horrible.
are vehicles, for instance, the one of those 2 instances, those trucks coming there right now,
Yeah.
there was a van came through on that lane and ran through here really, really fast when we had just had a singing choir protest right here. And people were walking this way, heading back slowly, casually, because we were in a very good state of mind. We just had a lovely singing protest. I was towards the front. I saw that van coming. I screamed and yelled for people to get the hell out of the way.
Right.
And the person next to me saw me doing that, saw what was happening, and did the same thing. And if we had not done that, I am not exaggerating, we would have had 3 ambulances here that day.
That is so horrible. That is so frightening. I want to ask your attorney, James, another question, James. Can you talk to me a little bit about this lawsuit that you guys have now filed? Exactly. Can you explain to the listeners, who are you suing right now?
So we started a class action in Minneapolis, and we're suing ICE, Customs and Border Patrol. We're also, so what we're doing is it's the first phase of the lawsuit where you inform the government that you are looking to sue. You have to do that based on the 11th Amendment, and that's where we are. I mean, it'll be ICE. There's a number of named plaintiffs. We're adding people from Portland, and we were in New Jersey when Alex was there that same weekend. So, yeah, that's it. Those are the plaintiffs, and those are the people. Those are the targets.
Gotcha. So, Alex, I've interviewed a lot of other protesters just like yourself. And Alex, a lot of people on the right say that you guys are violent, that you guys are attacking officers. I mean, we hear this rhetoric, constantly. Can you please explain to my listeners what is really happening out there? Because it seems like most of you are very peaceful. You're not breaking the law. You're just using your rights as Americans to voice your opinions. Can you please explain what these protests are really like? Because a lot of these people on the right are painting you guys out to be very violent, crazy people.
So my community out here can tell you that I've been out here essentially every day, except for the days I was lovingly banned from being out here to recover from my injuries. And I can tell you that our weapons are flags and megaphones and our voices. We chant and sing as close to those windows in my background as possible, because that's where the people are being held against their will. We try to have dialogue with the guards, try to get them back in touch with the humanity and rethink their choices. Like, why are you supporting this? How can you support this? And why are you having to wear masks? You're not scared of us. You pelt us. You bully us. You're brutal towards us. We don't think we're the ones you're afraid of. You don't want your family, your children, your parents to know what you do for a living.
Yeah.
And we try to have dialogue with them. This is not, we sing, we don white choir gowns and sing. I dance with a flag. Like, we are as loud as possible visually, auditorially. Like, we are not violent. We
No,
are met with batons. We are met with tear gas. We are met with
Yep.
ICE and police brutality. Police is not allowed to be here anymore. But up until recently, yes.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
earlier you had asked me about where I stand with fear. I'm terrified, absolutely terrified, but we don't get to let that stand. We don't get to let it win, because silence is complicity. And I can't do that, because that's how this continues, which is why when I got out of the hospital that night, my friend who picked me up asked me, do you want to go rest? Do you want to eat? I said, neither. We are going to go get a ton of food. We're going right back to Delaney Hall. This is where I was hit. And we held a protest picnic right the fuck here that same night that I was hit.
I think that's very brave. I mean, I guess I'm putting it lightly. That's very brave of you to do that. I guess this would be my final question for you, Alex. And thank you so much for being here, by the way. I'm glad you're doing better. My last question for you is this, and we got to do it in a PG-13 way, if that's okay, because we're also on the radio. But if you had no, that's okay. If you had the opportunity to be in a room right now with Stephen Miller, who I think is just the worst despicable human being imaginable, and Donald Trump and members of his administration, and Mark Wayne Mullen, or even Kristi Noem, I know she's not there anymore, but she's also plays a role in this. I'm wondering, if you were in a room with those people, what would you say to them?
Quite frankly, I would save my breath and go talk to the people who are actually wanting to understand what is going on, whether the right, the left, or the middle. I would want to tell them that due process is not being upheld. That is our Constitution, our amendments. We had a First Amendment zone. You see this first lane here? It was blocked off and called a First Amendment zone. This is the United States of America, I do believe. And that means the First Amendment is on any ground that I step on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that the right concerned about that. I would like to think so.
Yeah.
And I would like to believe that the conditions that are inside, where people are being given food that have maggots and mold and worms. The water is yellow. The milk is curdled and expired. The pasta is undercooked, indigestible. They're getting ice cold water for showers in the summer, in the winter, boiling hot in the summer. They have highly AC'd room, and they are lucky if they have blankets. And when I say blankets, this is what's known as a space blanket. It is a sheet of Mylar, basically. I know these from Standing Rock, where we use them to defend against the water cannons in sub-zero temperature. That is what is being used as a blanket here. There is one doctor for over 800 detainees. It takes 3 to 5 weeks for any medical request to even be reviewed, let alone be seen. And we are being told that this is a matter of illegal immigrants. Then tell me this, why are people who are here as refugees being detained? Why are people who are going through the legal process being detained as they're going through the process that we invited them here to go through? We offered them safety. We offered them sanctuary, and we are taking it back because, oh, you know what? The guys up there felt like it. How is that the country that we pledge allegiance to? Like, that is the reality that we're living right now. I do not think the people on either side of the aisle would stand for that. And the conditions that are in there, they're inhumane, as you can see, as I just listed.
100%.
There are people who have. Here's another very interesting point. The technical reasoning for this is wanting to get rid of illegal immigrants. Okay, then why is it that people who are trying to self-deport, who are begging to self-deport, are not allowed to? People who don't have family to speak on their behalf, who are not able to be advocated for, are stuck in there, unable to get out because they are another body on a bed, and that is money. This is a for-profit prison. This is the whole system, over 200 in total, right? The second, and growing. And if you look at the population, the marijuana possession population, and how the dissipation of that met with the incline of this, there is an interesting correlation that we should be looking at as well.
Well, Alex, I'll say this. A lot of people on the right, including Donald Trump, called people hostages and patriots for beating police officers on January 6th. Let me tell you something. That couldn't be further from the truth. The real patriots are people like you. And many of the hostages that they referred to, not January 6ers, I would say are behind you in that facility that are being treated inhumanely. Those are the hostages. The patriots are the people like you that are protesting peacefully, regardless of how scared you are. I think it's very, very brave. I'm glad you're doing better. I'm very sorry what happened to you. It's horrible. I hope the person that hit you is held to the highest extent of the law, because I just think it's disgusting and it's horrible. James, I just want to bring you back up here for the last word. If James has anything else that you'd like to say, James, please go for it. James Cook, who is representing Alex James, a fantastic attorney. James, I'll give you the last word if you had anything else you wanted to add.
I think that Alex said it all, and I will get into it on a later show. But I think she said it all.
Great.
Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. Well,
Can I say one
James,
more thing?
thank you. And Alex, thank you so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate you coming on. Did you have something else you wanted to add, Alex?
Yes, one more thing. Thank you so much. At last count, over 75% of the detainees have never committed any crime. And when I say crime, I say that in quotation marks because the vast majority of them, we're looking at something along the lines of a traffic infraction.
Right, right.
This kind of treatment and also just being detained in general, that is not our process.
It's a
And our
misdemeanor.
people realize that.
Alex, as you know, it's a misdemeanor. It's like if an American citizen was jaywalking, it's a misdemeanor. It's not even close to a felony.
And
yet,
this is what's happening.
It's insane. I mean, and when you talk, there were people, as you know, that were deported to El Salvador prisons. These people get no due process. It's one thing, right? Can we agree on this, Alex? It's one thing, like if you're a violent criminal that happens to be undocumented, I think that's a different conversation. I think
Absolutely.
you deserve to be, yeah, that's a different conversation. But as you know, the majority of these people are not violent criminals. They've never committed a crime other than being in this country undocumented without the right paperwork, which is a misdemeanor. And this is not the country that I recognize anymore. It's not the country that I want to live in anymore. And do you agree with me, Alex? Because I said this to start the show, and I say this all the time. It was never make America great again. To me, it was make America white again. And I'm glad that the Supreme Court ruled the way they did with the anchor baby situation. That I am grateful for. But all the people out there that are angry about this are probably totally fine with families being separated and being treated inhumanely by committing a misdemeanor, right? And I'm just so grateful that there are people like you out there that are taking your time to peacefully protest. And you know, I'm going to tell you right now, your voices are heard with my listeners. Your voices are being heard, and guess what? Your voice is being heard by people on the far right as well, because they can't stand people like you. And we want you to keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is making a difference. You know, it's not just about holding up a sign, okay? What you're doing is making a difference because you're putting pressure on DHS. If it wasn't for people like you, Kristi Noem might still be in power. If it wasn't for people like you, there might be more Renee Goods and Alex Preddy's out there. And obviously we don't want that to happen. So Alex, I know I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but I appreciate you. Please keep up the great work. You guys are both welcome back on this show anytime. And you're a very brave woman, and I have a lot of respect for you. And please be safe, okay?
Thank you. Will do. Good trouble always.
Yes. Thank you so much, Alex. That's Alex James and James Cook, great attorney. And from what I can see, a lovely woman who was just hit by a vehicle, by a car. You know, it's interesting, right? Because Jonathan Ross was the officer who killed, and I would say, I think it's murdered Renee Good. And everybody on the right, MAGA, donated millions of dollars to Jonathan Ross. By the way, from what I can see, Alex James was injured far more than anything that happened to Jonathan Ross, right? They claimed Jonathan Ross had internal bleeding, right? No medical records, nothing. And then the next day, we see from the Daily Mail that he's moving his stuff in his home. He's a millionaire now. Why aren't people on the right donating money to Alex James? She seemed to be injured far more than anything that happened to Jonathan Ross. Oh, yeah, by the way, Alex James didn't shoot an innocent woman in the face and kill her either. What a brave woman. What an intelligent, brave woman. And by the way, she wasn't breaking the law. For people out there that were saying, oh, well, she was blocking a road. Listen, even if that was the case, even if she was in the middle of a street waving a flag, it doesn't give somebody in a car the right to trample her or hit her with a vehicle. You blow the horn, she gets out of the way, you move on. That's what a normal human being would do. Not some SOB in a sports car driving by, striking her. I had to debate that piece of human scum, Clay Travis. Piece of human scum, racist buffoon, Clay Travis. I debated him months back on Piers Morgan. And Clay Travis said, if you're blocking the roadways, people should have the right to drive through them. Clay Travis said that. But if you beat a cop on January 6th, you're a hostage and you're a patriot. But if you run somebody over, if they're in a street with an American flag, totally fine. What has happened in this country? Well, for starters, Donald Trump, the president of the United States. But when was this okay? When was this okay to treat somebody who only crime is committing a misdemeanor, to put them in solitary confinement, to separate them from their families? When did this become okay? At least Barack Obama did it the right way. It was done the right way under Barack Obama. They weren't executing people in the streets. It's insane.